Hello, Internet. It is I, one half of the Lovable Nerds, Hunter Albert. And sitting to my left, as always, is the running man.
What's going on?
Jeffrey Runyard. And today we have a special guest with us, Connor. What the heck?
Connor, what the heck?
Yeah, it does on the fly.
Wait, can I? Let me. Before you talk, let me do one for our friends. Connor for real.
Connor for real.
Connor for real
is an overrated piece of hay. I can't say that.
Yeah, so we got a good show today. We brought on Connor because we're going to be talking louts about horror stuff. And in particular, like our favorite horror films of all time and a few of our favorite horror video games of all time. It's kind of a weird genre, horror video games, because it's something I didn't get in until later because they scared me to death. But we came up with a few fun ones and we'll play around with that a little bit. But I guess to start off, as always, what you been playing, Jeffrey?
So what's funny is I haven't really played anything in like a week.
Not really me either.
But when I did play, the last game I played will be the default one that I go to here.
Sorry, man.
But it was Resident Evil 7.
Resident Evil 7.
Yeah.
Hey, we're going to talk about that more later.
Yeah, I don't know.
Foreshadowing.
It definitely wasn't because we planned this episode that I played that. It just kind of works.
It's a good game.
But yeah, I picked it back up. But I meant to replay it, but I ended up like just playing a save file that I was like new game plussing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so you beat it through the first time?
Me and my friend sort of like co-op beat it. We like passed it back and forth, and
I beat that game in like 2 days.
Yeah.
But the DLC is pretty good on it. I bought the season pass, and there's like this weird survival mode where it's got permadeath on it.
Oh wow!
You might want to check that out. And there's also like tapes. You remember the tapes in the game?
Yeah.
There's like more of those you can get. And just to add on to the Resident Evil 7 talk.
Yeah.
There's 2 story DLCs coming out this year. One starring Chris.
Oh wow! I didn't know that they were like.
I don't know if it's Chris or not, but it's got to be him.
It's like
right?
what everybody thinks it is.
It's got to be him, right?
Yeah.
I think so. And then the other one starring like Zoe, I think was her name. Like the girl from the farm or swamp
from that Louisiana swamp.
The only so like I said last time, I'm planning on doing a Destiny 2 review, and I've been going hardcore on Destiny. I've played like over 40 hours on it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's just like some quick impressions of it. I really like it a lot better than the first one. A lot more to do in it. A lot, lots of like strikes, and the campaign in it I thought was good. The music in it is amazing. Like the music is really good.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean it's the guy who did Halo Combat Evolved, like the.
Oh, that's awesome! Yeah.
But yeah, it's really good, and I'm waiting to go through the raid before I do a full-on thing for it. But I'm loving it, to be honest, a lot more than I thought I would. It's kind of like the first game. You know how in like someone said this earlier, and I'm kind of like stealing it a little bit, but you know how in like E3 demos, there's always like whenever they're playing an online game, there's always like a group of people, and they're like, hey man, you got a bogey on your 6, and they're like talking like really dumb, like, and they're like, hey, you need to use this power now.
Oh yeah.
This is one of the only games I've actually done that in, and like I was going through it with Ryan, and he was like, Hunter, you need to go attack because you have solar, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I got it, and stuff like that.
Okay.
And I just like sat back, and I was like, we're actually like doing the really cheesy like goofy.
The cringe.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Connor, I know you're not a huge gamer, but have you been playing anything?
Well, I have
Even
been
if it's old, I don't care.
taking a blast from the past.
Yes.
And playing MLB The Show.
Yes.
14.
I love MLB The Show.
I went to McKay a couple months ago and was like, I need a baseball game. And I don't really care that much.
That's the best baseball game. Well, I think it's the only one you can get nowadays, but it's the best one easily. I love MLB The Show. I play it almost every year.
Yeah, and I didn't care at all about keeping like an up-to-date roster. So I just...
I'm sure that game still looks amazing.
It's a really good game.
Yeah, the animations look like you're watching an actual like baseball game taking place, like with how they throw the ball or how they catch it or how your like the mannerisms your pitcher has and stuff like that. I love that game. It's super good.
And the other big game that I've been playing, which has probably been the one I've been playing the most, is LA Noire.
Hey, I was hoping you'd talk about this because did you see the LA
That's
Noire?
a relevant game right now, actually. Yeah,
this is actually a very relevant game because it's getting a re-release. Did you hear about this?
Really?
Yes. It's getting re-released on Switch, which I was like, What?
Well, I know, what the heck? It's
Like,
so weird.
that's such a random game for them to bring back. Not that it wasn't a good game. I actually love LA Noire. It was one of my favorite games that year, just because it's so different, and I really like the story. I thought it unraveled just a little bit at the end, but I won't spoil it for you if you haven't beat it.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, it's really good, and it's also getting released on PS4 and Xbox One, and
remastered and everything. Yeah.
yeah, and it's getting a VR. Support.
Oh, that's
Did you hear
so
about
weird.
this? Isn't that strange? It's not the open world; it's just the cases. So like, they took like 7 cases and they remapped them for VR. So you'll be like walking around the crime scene, like I'm guessing first person. I don't know. Like they haven't shown any gameplay for it yet.
That's so weird, huh?
But like, think about like interviewing the people in that game.
That would be cool. I
and
could
like
see that,
first
yeah.
person, and then like with VR helmet on, and then like doing all the weird facial like, I didn't kill him kind of thing, where their eyes twitching and stuff like that.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. But yeah, that's and it's interesting too that Rockstar is like, I don't know, they haven't really supported Nintendo before. I think Manhunt.
I
was
know.
on
Yeah, I don't.
Wii, maybe
They haven't like had a game on there in ages. Or if at all. I mean, that's crazy.
my little brother and I were talking, and something I thought would be super cool. He brought this up. Shout out to Zach again. He's always giving me good ideas. But Chinatown Wars for the DS.
Oh, that's right.
If they did like a sequel to that for the Switch.
Chinatown Wars 2
for the
yeah,
Switch.
that'd be pretty
Switch
cool.
exclusive. That'd be super cool.
Yeah.
That game was awesome. Yeah, LA Noire is great.
Yeah, one thing that I've heard about the Switch version of LA Noire is that like graphical fidelity wise, it'll be kind of similar to like the one that
PS3.
Connor is playing right now.
Yeah.
Where it looks like the PS3 or Xbox 360 version. Just because I guess that's all you can really get on there, you know? 'Cause
Yeah,
That's
It is
still
what
a
it is.
pretty
yeah. I was about to
good-looking
say it
version.
Yeah.
actually holds up really good.
Yeah.
And I heard they're changing up the camera view a little bit on the Switch version,
Oh,
so it's
huh.
like more over the shoulder. I'm guessing more like Resident Evil 4.
Yeah.
Like looking.
The only thing with LA Noire that I think, because I think it's a really cool game and everything, but I don't know if it's one of those games that really is like worthy of like a complete and utter rehaul and remaster. And
Yeah, it's
because while I've played that like almost the whole game, and the only reason I didn't beat it was because I was like, repetitive. You know,
it's
it's like
kinda long.
one of the most repetitive games I've ever played, to be honest. Like, yeah, it was kind of long too. But like the gameplay of it was really, really good for a really long time. And then I was like, oh wait, but that's all it is. It's just doing cases.
I almost thought it shouldn't have been open world. Almost thought it should have.
Yeah,
just been,
kinda like
because
linear.
You can't really do much in the open world. You can like it
That's
looks
true,
amazing and it looks really cool, and that have like every
pretty empty.
street
Yeah.
of Los Angeles is in the game, like every street.
Yeah.
But there's not much you can like. I mean, you're driving around like these old cars.
Yeah, you're like, whoa, this is cool. It's like all period piece, and then there's nothing really much in it.
Still, it's interesting. Definitely a cool talking point because
If they did like if they made like a sequel to LA Noire and like made it dynamic where like things could just randomly happen while you were like
I was about to
patrolling,
say,
that
yeah.
would be amazing. Something like that.
If it was more, you know, like GTA where it has all these extra stuff you can do besides just, you know.
Yeah,
missions.
exactly. Yeah.
I definitely agree with that. I don't know if they'll ever make a sequel to it just because of what happened to Team Bondi. But maybe this is them testing the waters with it a little bit to see if like,
we'll see what happens.
I hope
with
it gets a sequel.
I'll probably get it on Switch just
I'm getting it on Switch.
Yeah, I haven't played it in years, so maybe back then I just got sick of it. But I don't know. I could retry it.
I'm gonna get it on Switch.
I've got more patience as a person now. So
it is interesting that they didn't do like Max Payne 3 or like I'm just thinking like all the PS.
That's true. Yeah.
Rockstar
Maybe
games.
maybe
Red Dead,
they're planning.
original Red Dead.
That would be amazing.
Like,
yeah.
I mean, the Switch can handle anything that was on 360 PS3 for sure. The
I would
specs
think so.
The specs are higher.
I hope so. Yeah.
But just interesting talking point. Jeffrey, did you want to talk about it at all? We saw it last week, which is a huge talking point right now among theater goers.
If this episode were to have come out last Wednesday, then I would have wanted to talk full force on it. But like we're like a week and a half late. So
also,
like,
I kind of feel it's been beat to death. I loved the movie though. Just saying.
Yeah,
I thought it was really good.
You know what's funny about it is I thought the movie was really, really good, but something about it has like disappointed me a little bit. I don't know.
Interesting.
Like I thought I don't know. It was like every time that something like scary, you know, like quote bubbles scary happened, it was like that was just hilarious. Like, you know, it reminded me of when I watched The Conjuring 2 because I just saw The Conjuring 2 recently.
I like that movie a lot.
And that's another one that me and my cousin were watching it, and the guy comes out with the red hat and everything, and we were like, salad fingers? I mean, like, this is really bad. Like, I will be completely honest, that Conjuring 2 was like just hilarious. Like, I was like, this is really freaking bad. Like
I like The Conjuring too, but
I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just not like, I don't know. I like horror movies.
See, the thing is I don't go to horror movies to be scared though. I don't
either.
I'm not one of those people that like. I was coming out of it, and one of my friends was like, did you like it? And he was like, no, I didn't like it at all. And I was like, why didn't you like it? He said it wasn't scary. And I was like, I don't understand. I don't go to horror movies to be scared. I don't know. I just go to them because they're good films.
But it wasn't that it's awkward saying like it didn't scare me. It's just when things would happen, I was like, that's really cheesy. Like it
is a little cheesy.
Whenever he turned into the painting, the first time it was kind of
spoiler
like,
alert.
I kind of like that. Oh yeah, it was gonna be spoilers.
Well, yeah, spoiler-ish alert. Not really.
Yeah, he turns into the like painting that one kid is scared of. Yeah. And I think at first it was kind of, I was like, okay, this is pretty good. And then later on they did it, and I was just like, oh.
The interesting thing about the movie, another thing I was talking to one of my friends about, I was like, they were saying it gets less and less scary as the movie goes on, but that's the point. That's the point of the book too, because like as the kids
by the
are
end of
getting
it,
less scary,
whenever they're like spoilers, whenever they're like fighting him at the end of the movie, that's awesome. I love that.
And it goes with, you kind of feel like you're the kids because you're getting less and less scared of Pennywise as they are too, so they can take.
Yeah,
them on.
I think like as a horror movie, I think it was like it worked, but I was a little disappointed by it as a horror movie. But as a coming of age, what would you even call that?
I think it's a coming of age movie.
Like the Stranger Things kind of thing. So? It's like the same.
Like that one Stephen Stand By Me.
Stand By Me, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a lot like
it's got like other elements of other things, but what it does best at is being that, Yeah.
I
like
think,
Stranger Things kind of thing.
The best scenes in the film are with the kids like playing around with each other.
Yeah, I thought that stuff was really good. There was a couple scenes where I was just like, child actors, but like some of it, most of it worked. Yeah, most of it I think it was a really solid movie. Like I wouldn't give it more than probably like an 8 or something like that.
That's probably where I'd go.
But,
like an 8 or 8.5.
Yeah.
I definitely liked it a lot better than the old one. If you remember on this show, I was like, old one's
I had to watch after you said that. I was like, I don't want to go watch the old one.
Did you watch it?
I couldn't get through. I watched like half of it, and I was like, I can't do this anymore.
See, I had gotten through about 2 hours of it, and I was getting ready to turn it off, and my brother was like, Hunter, we have to finish now. We've gone too far. It's just so long.
Oh my gosh.
I have to say the kids in that first one were probably the best part, like the flashbacks in
the 90s.
Oh yeah,
one.
definitely. Yeah, the adults I thought were bad actors.
Horrible,
Yeah, and also they
Bill
just
or whatever, the older Bill with the ponytail.
Oh my god. And then like Ben, or is it Ben? He's got like a mustache.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And then they didn't like act like normal people. Like their kids' versions of them were smarter. Like I was like, what is going on?
I know, it was ridiculous.
What's going on with these guys?
Yeah.
These 90s guys.
These 90s guys. But no, yeah, I thought the remake was like really solid, and they couldn't have timed it better. There's a lot of times where they come out with remakes and it's like, what are you doing? Like, but this one, the timing.
Oh my
right.
god, it's taken the box office by storm. It made 116.
Me and Jeffrey know this all too well.
Oh yeah,
it made way too much money.
It made all the monies.
Freaking.
Are you guys like? Are you excited for a sequel?
Oh yeah, I think I'm more excited for the sequel.
See. Yeah. I don't like the second half of the book or the movie, so I am like interested to see what they do, because if they can like win me over with the sequel, then they've really like.
Well, part of me thinks that since they'll be adults, they kind of have to step it up, So literally it up.
Yeah, I hope they change a few things from the original too.
Yeah.
Unpopular opinion. Oh, they should change something, but some of that stuff I don't like.
Yeah.
I don't like how it works out.
What's kind of funny is like the portrayal of Pennywise. I thought was only like pretty good, whereas it really goes to show why people like Tim Curry so much in the older one, because if you like, I was like, man, can you imagine if, let's say this movie came out now and Tim Curry played Pennywise, but Tim Curry's in his prime? It would be amazing. Like, how cool would that be?
I liked Bill Skarsgård as
he did really good too, but you know.
I see what you're saying though. Tim Curry is like
something
Clown
about
God.
him, it's like a magic, Clown God, yeah. He's like, it's like something that was like magical about that, whereas this one's just like he did a really good job.
You Tim Curry was like synonymous with clowns.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you thought of like clowns in movies or something, you think of him. At least I do. I don't know.
So much so that when like they first started Batman the Animated series, he was gonna be the Joker.
Interesting. I had no idea. And so
I think
Mark
I've heard
Hamill.
that. I think I've heard that before. Yeah,
That would have been a lot. Wow, that would have been a lot different.
probably pretty good too, though. Honestly,
I feel like that would have been. I would have actually liked to see that. But I love Mark Hamill as the Joker.
Yeah,
I think Mark Hamill just went in as like a normal character. I don't even think it was a villain.
that's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shout
awesome.
out Batman Animated Series.
Shout out.
25th anniversary was
Really?
Last week, 2 weeks ago.
That's awesome.
One of the best. I'll say it, best superhero TV show of all time.
I'd
I
agree
mean,
with
yeah,
that.
I can't think of
Yeah.
unless you want to like go cheesy like Super Friends route.
Oh, God.
You know?
I even think it's better than like what Netflix is doing. I mean, Batman the Animated Series was amazing. I love the Netflix.
I mean,
like Marvel
it literally even if it only did one thing, which was create Harley Quinn, then that's like all
that's
it really
true,
needed to do. You know,
and it retold so many backstories, like Mr. Freeze, and they took like a B villain or maybe even a C villain with Mr. Freeze and like rewrote his backstory and made him interesting. But that's
now
another.
we're like talking about
That's
Batman,
another podcast.
Batman TV shows, and this is a movies and games podcast.
Yeah, we were talking about it.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, that's cool,
Anyways,
though.
so second topic of the day: favorite horror films of all time. So how we're gonna do this is we're each gonna say a movie from our list, and then just kind of like go around the room, and then just kind of discuss it. Whenever I was like coming up with mine, I instantly thought of like 25 movies. So this is kind of hard for me to like narrow it
let's
down.
say top 10, and we'll just like you said, we'll go read by read, and like I'll like say my 10th. Or do you have a top 10?
Well, I didn't write it down. I just wrote down top 5
You just wrote down top 5.
because like
And we'll
I
just
like
do-
eliminated them all.
Okay, yeah.
Well, I just thought it would be too long. I don't know.
It would be too long.
It's
you're
a
right,
lot
yeah.
of movies.
Yeah,
Well,
it is.
if we have if time's looking all right, we might like add in a few.
Okay.
But I'll go ahead and start it off with a movie that's near and dear to my heart, and mine aren't in any particular
I've
order.
seen
I
it.
just
Yeah.
put them all.
Like I've seen a whole lot. but-
Evil Dead 2.
All right. Yeah.
Evil Dead 2 is one of my favorite horror films because it took the first film and it's basically like a remake of that first movie, but like
Better. Yeah.
better. And it kind of is, I'd say it's one of the first like kind of like comedy horror type movies where
Yeah.
there's like a good range of like comedy. And it's also one of the most like over the top movies I've seen.
Yeah. It's awesome.
It gets even crazier with the like the third one, but I love the Evil Dead 2. If you guys have seen that, right?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. The first one was like a really, really good like horror film, and it was like pretty like I'd say scary, and it did a lot of things that were like new to the genre, like with camera movement and stuff like that, because it was so cheap. They didn't have the money.
Well, what's kind of funny is this is kind of. I'll just say what mine. So this goes in my list a little bit too, because my number 3 is The Evil Dead.
The Evil Dead, the first one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I actually prefer the first one
You like
because
the
of
first one better?
because of the grunginess of it.
The
And
first
just-
one's more of a
It's almost like
horror
people
film.
with like $30 made an amazing movie. That's
Yeah.
like how I look at it when I
shot
watch it.
near us too.
Yeah,
Yep,
exactly.
shot
It's so
in
cool.
Morristown, right?
I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That makes it better. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, it is also the circumstances that I watched it, and I like watched it really late at night, and when it was like, with people that we were talking about the whole thing, and it was just the experience I had watching it was a lot better.
It's really crazy how they created a franchise with that movie, because I don't think it was released in theaters. I think
If it was,
it
very
would have been
limited.
small, because
Yeah.
they made that less than like I think less.
Pretty
than,
sure
like,
it flopped
$10,000.
even. Yeah, it just became a cult thing.
Yeah, it just gained a following later, like
Yeah.
years.
And I do.
As the whole series kind of has, because
Yeah.
I think I don't even think Army of Darkness was that big of a hit at the time. I think it
so,
just
yeah.
gained a following.
I love
as
that
well.
one too.
I love that one too,
amazing.
but I don't really know if that's like a horror
I didn't put.
movie.
Yeah, I would have put it if
Yeah.
it can. But I was like, yeah, it's
That's
not really
probably
horror.
that might be my favorite of the series.
Yeah, that's like action.
Yeah,
horror,
it's more like sci-fi action or
Yeah.
fantasy.
It's the aliens of the Evil Dead franchise.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved Evil Dead 2, and I still watch that. Like, I feel like almost every year I watch that around Halloween time. It's
Yeah.
just I just love the comedy in it, and I love the crazy over the top ending with the. I'll just go ahead and say it. There's gonna be spoilers for these movies.
I mean, I'm sure they're all pretty much older except for a few newer ones.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I have a couple on here that were like last year though,
Oh wow. Okay.
or maybe
All
just one.
right. Is It Follows on there?
No, it's not.
Okay, that's a lot. I saw that a lot when I was like looking at a bunch of horror movies.
I loved It Follows, but
It's a good movie.
not quite there for me.
Okay.
But I do love it. I love that movie. I don't want to.
I was just curious.
Connor, what you got? What you got for me, man?
What's your number 5?
My
just
number
a movie?
5
Yeah,
is, interestingly enough, a twofer.
Oh,
The Conjuring 1 and 2. Because
Oh.
I enjoy
The Conjuring is my number 10.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I like The Conjuring 1 and 2 a bunch. So that movie kind of came out of nowhere for me. Especially the first one, because I like saw the trailers and stuff, and I was like, I've seen so many jump scare like horror films like this, but it like was like legitimately kind of scary and good.
Yeah.
Saw both of them in theaters, which I think it's the only 2 on my list.
That you've seen in theaters?
Mm.
Yeah, I think I've only seen one of these in theaters. No, I've seen 2 of these because one I saw like later on.
I say watched. I listened more to The Conjuring 1 because I am a big pansy and had my hands over my.
Did you really?
During the first movie?
Yeah.
My experience with the first movie is hilarious too, though. Yeah.
When was that like 2013, 2012?
2013.
That sounds right, yeah.
It's interesting. The Conjuring kind of started a universe that I like did not think it would have. Like, it was a really good movie, and like,
And frankly, shouldn't have.
Yeah,
We'll
I
see.
only
You're like-
like those 2 movies. The
You've
others
seen
are.
Annabelle
Yeah.
too.
I have not seen Annabelle 2.
Apparently, the
I just
Annabelle
recently
creation-
watched it.
Yeah. Apparently, that one's like better than the past few.
I really liked Annabelle. The
Oh,
Creation.
yeah.
I thought it was great.
Oh yeah.
But I didn't like the first one at all.
Yeah.
So,
It's sort of an Ouija and Ouija 2 like situation.
yeah,
with those
that's kind of
movies.
weird how like
Oops, sorry.
like no, you're fine, man. How like a sequel to something gets like somehow gets what the first one was trying to do better. That doesn't happen very often, but for some reason it happens in horror movies.
I know, that's so weird. Yeah.
But yeah, Conjuring 1 and 2, I like that. I like those movies a lot. Did you see they're making like The Nun or whatever next?
I did see that.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that.
Didn't they
We'll
kill that?
Haven't they killed our
Spoilers.
But you have to learn
gotta see
how
the
it
origins,
became.
man.
You gotta see the origins.
Nun origins.
Oh,
The
my-
Nun origins.
Nun
Norigins.
origins.
Yeah, she's like friends with like the lady from Sound of Music, and they're like escaping the Nazis, and then she gets trapped. No, never mind. I should pitch this idea.
Nun colon origins.
Just don't enter the
Origins.
Annabelle creation contest.
Yeah.
What?
Did you hear about that? There
Wait,
was
what?
a contest that the director of Annabelle creation like promoted.
Oh wait, I think I might have heard a little bit about this.
And basically it was submit like a 5-minute short. And if you win, Warner Brothers or whatever,
It's making you
whoever
into
the
a
studio,
horror
yeah.
creature.
whatever studio
I think.
like ran the movie
Yeah.
would take that product and basically make it theirs. And
So they
you would get like
Steal your idea.
yeah, they would
I'm just kidding.
Oh wow.
you would get like $100 for your idea.
But
They're like
taking it?
they're like
They-
thanks
they
for
would-
your
Is this legitimate?
I'm pretty sure.
they're like thanks for your
Aw.
intellectual property. Here's $100.
You created something.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Yeah, I'll send it. I'll send my Sound of Nuns story to them. Whatever it's called.
Sound of Nuns.
Sound of Nuns. Oh, that kind of sounds like a horror movie too.
Sound of Nuns.
Sound of Nuns. I'll go ahead and say my next one on here. I actually just saw this one really recently. Well, I've seen it a bunch, but I just rewatched it recently. Cabin in the Woods.
Oh, okay.
You guys seen this before?
Okay, so I've seen it. I don't really remember that much of it because we were watching it the whole time. I was so confused because I was like, "What the hell is this?" And then
You kind of got it.
And then the movie ended, and I was like, what? "No!" Like the whole time,
You didn't get it,
Like
really?
I watched the whole thing, and then my cousin had to like sit there and explain to me
you gotta-
that it's like wasn't a real horror movie, and I was just like, I still don't really understand it.
Well, you
so-
gotta watch it again, man.
Yeah.
But Cabin in the Woods takes all these like horror tropes of like a genre like 30 years in the making and just twists them upside down, or it kind of like takes them and like makes you think it's using them.
Yeah.
And then it just
well,
kinda,
see,
like,
that's what I
throws
was like
them
taking
out.
it seriously
Awesome.
the whole time, and I was like, this movie's terrible. And then it's like, no, it's like that's the point. And it's
No,
like,
it's
oh,
not terrible. That's good.
I don't know.
But yeah.
Maybe I don't know.
No, I like that movie a lot. Joss Whedon actually wrote it
Mm-hmm.
and produced it, and Chris Hemsworth plays like the most like stereotypical jock guy in it. That movie, I was texting one of my friends. That movie's like become like almost like a Halloween tradition for me since it came out. It came out in 2012, and I think I've watched it almost every year since then.
Yeah.
I love that movie. It like if you're not familiar with it, it starts out just like typical horror film. These friends are going on a trip to the woods, and they all start kind of like feeding into like the smart guy role, and then like the like shyish girl role, and then like the more forward, I don't want to say the word,
they basically have their archetypes,
girl, and then like the jock guy, and it takes those and then flips them upside down with like, I can't really, like, I don't really want to spoil that movie. If you haven't seen that, I don't want to spoil it for you because it's just too good. And I don't think a whole lot of people, I think that might be a little bit like less popular movie.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how, I know a lot of people that like it a lot, but I don't know how many people have like seen it.
Yeah, I'll have to rewatch it because definitely the circumstances I watched it under was like, what in the world? So,
yeah, that movie.
And then when they told me Joss Whedon wrote it, I was just like, what is happening? What?
Actually, like, my little brother had like a good idea for like a TV show of a cabin in the woods, and he had my little brother on here one time. He's got some good ideas. But yeah, I like that movie a lot. What you got for me, Jeffrey?
Let's see. I don't even know what my fifth one is. Hold on. Let's see. Okay, so Alien is my number 5. The original Alien, which is still my favorite.
I guess I can go ahead and say it. Alien was my, like, if I had to pick my favorite horror movie, it'd be Alien, the first one.
Oh, that's your top.
Really?
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Wow.
Definitely, easily.
Oh, I thought you were gonna be
or
like,
maybe like
it's not
3.
really yeah, it's. There's like a big thing where a lot of people don't know if it's actually horror or if it's like sci-fi.
I'd say it's horror.
I think so too. It's like a horror movie in space.
It's like a slasher.
Even the makers of the movie were just like, no, like we wanted to make a horror movie in space, and it's like, okay, so yeah.
I mean, it feels like a horror movie. You have the whole first half. It's really cool because they took like that genre at like during the 80s was so like just destroyed, like the horror slasher kind of genre. It was just getting like sequel after sequel, all these different copycats, all these different, and then Ridley Scott's like, nah, I got a better idea. And it was amazing how much like lore and stuff like that opened up to, because you're like entering a world and it feels like you're like being thrown into like the middle of something that's been going on for a while.
That's definitely why it took off so big as a franchise, because like you literally, the movie starts and it's like, wow, this is like, it feels like real. It's like the atmosphere is so good in the movie.
The atmosphere, the music.
Oh yeah.
The
lack of music, just like quietness.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like moody. It's kind of
like, exactly. Oh yeah, yeah, exactly.
I actually got to see that in RPX.
Oh, that must have been awesome.
Oh
I missed that.
God, it was amazing. Yeah, it was just so cool to see it on like that big of a screen and everything.
Yeah,
the sense of like claustrophobia you get from it too is really cool, because like they're not on like a camp or something and they can like go like get out to civilization. Yeah. They're like in the middle of space on a ship that has like this creature on it that's trying to eat them.
Yeah, even the poster said like in space no one can
not eat
hear
them,
you
but
scream
like
or something like
continue its breeding.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it gets
and then that made it even grosser too, because it's like a weird organic thing that it can feed directly off of humans and like make you pregnant
that
with
like chest burster scene holds up so well. I think.
Yeah,
I think that scene's still shocking. Like if you haven't seen it before and like you're just sitting there and it's just like, because they're all just like hanging out, like they don't build it up at all. You're just like, all right, Kane's good. I mean, he's like one of the main characters. He's fine.
He's like in the middle of eating. He's just like, oh god, my chest is bursting. Like out of nowhere.
Also, like how it kind of switches main characters on you. I like whenever movies do that.
Oh,
like,
that's awesome. Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't say Ripley's the main character of the first half of the movie. I don't think so.
No, it seems to be like more of like an ensemble thing where it keeps going back and forth between a bunch of characters, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, she's the only one left, so guess who's the main character, so
of our franchise for 20 years.
We're gonna bring her back after she dies. That's basically what's
she's
happening.
She's a clone. Yeah, it got a little crazy.
She's gonna get CGI'd.
She's gonna get CGI'd. She got CGI'd. When did she get CGI'd in anything?
I don't think so. But if they keep going,
keep going, she'll be like The Rock in The Mummy 2 or whatever.
Oh god,
comes out like the Queen alien, but it's got like Sigourney Weaver's head on it.
That's pretty bad, because I thought that I was like, did they really do that? That seems like something they do. So yeah,
they did skip ahead like 200 years.
Oh okay.
Like, hey, Ripley's still here. Hey. It's a clone.
Hey. But yeah, the first Alien holds up.
Fantastic movie. Yeah, I think it holds up maybe better than like any of like the older movies that I have on here.
Yeah, this isn't like super popular of an opinion, but I like it better than the Aliens.
Oh, I definitely like it better than Aliens.
Yeah.
What do you think, Connor?
Aliens is like a really good movie to just, if it's on, I'll just have it on in the background.
It's like the best popcorn movie. It's like Terminator 2 and then that, and it's like, wow.
Yeah.
But
they're made by
James Cameron's really good at stuff like that.
Yeah.
With Alien, if I just want to be submerged in a movie,
oh yeah,
I would pick that.
That's true.
It just takes you in, and you just like can't like look away. Like
is that new one?
Moment,
I didn't see Alien Isolation, but is it?
I liked it.
Yeah, I think
it's got a lot of potholes, but I liked it.
It looked good. It looked like a little. Yeah.
Wait, Alien Isolation's the game.
Or not? I'm sorry. I'm a gamer first.
I just want to correct you before.
My three favorite things in the world are video games, the Beatles, and like music. So like
and Alien. No,
and Alien. Alien Isolation.
Yeah. Alien Isolation was the game, but
what's the freaking movie called? Resurrect? No, that's like the third or fourth one. What is it called?
Covenant. Alien.
Oh
Covenant.
yeah, Alien Covenant.
Yeah, I liked Alien Covenant. It's not like amazing, but
yeah,
I definitely like it better than Alien 3 and Alien 4. Well, I don't know. I actually like Alien 3 better than most people do.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Is that the Fincher one?
Yeah, David Fincher directed it. It's you got to watch like a certain version of it. He actually sort of directed that. We're just veering off here for a second, but actually David Fincher sort of directed that. Alien. He doesn't own that. Like, he doesn't say he directed that movie because the studio had so much control. He actually didn't edit the movie at all. He wasn't in there for any of the editing process. He was kicked out of the filming of the movie, and he had to shoot certain film or certain scenes without the studio knowing, and he would just like go grab a camera and Sigourney Weaver. That's
crazy.
I don't know, like. What his version of that would have been, but I feel like it would have been better.
I was gonna say like it's all their fault for hiring David Fincher and then being like, no, you can't do your weird things you want to do.
Yeah,
like of course he's gonna do weird stuff.
At this time, he was just a music video director too, so like he was like really getting started in the movies. But yeah, that movie is like a weird one for me because I like certain parts about it and certain parts about it are awful. I hate how it starts. The starting of that movie is terrible. What a terrible idea.
It's like
we're gonna kill Newt. And we're going to kill two of the main characters from the first one without any screen time. They're just not going to be in this movie.
Yeah.
How dumb is that? That's stupid.
That was pretty bad, yeah.
What a dumb idea. Not David Fincher.
Not David Fincher.
What you got for me, Connor? What you got? What's the next movie?
Well, as a perfect segue, my number 4 is also a movie about a weird alien that isolates a bunch of people. The Thing.
The Thing. I forgot about The Thing. I probably would have had that in my list.
I rewatched it today, and it still holds up.
Oh, my God.
What you just happened to watch it today, yeah.
I'm so glad you reminded me of that. That's such a great movie. Kurt Russell.
Yeah, there's one, you're talking about because that's actually 80s. A remake.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the original one's not called The Thing, I don't
think. It's like The Thing from Outer Space, but it's technically a remake, though, yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
And not to be confused with the remake of It, which came out in, 2011
or so. I didn't see it.
It had
Ramona.
Yeah, Ramona Flowers in it. That's
Ramona Flowers from
the
Scott
remake
Pilgrim.
of The Thing.
Oh, I think you said It. I was like so confused. What? Okay.
Ramona Flowers is in that?
Ramona Flowers in It in 2011? That's like what my mind was.
What's going on? Yeah. The Thing is like really good. Yet again, another movie that kind of like throws you into a situation that you feel like you're being brought right into the middle of, and it doesn't. It leaves it open for interpretation, which is something Alien does really good too. I love the ending of The Thing too. Maybe my favorite, probably top 10 favorite endings of a movie. You know, where how it's so you're not really sure one way or the other.
Remind me of the ending.
No, the
big spoiler alert.
Yeah.
If you're gonna just skip ahead a little bit.
If you haven't seen The Thing,
maybe we shouldn't even do it then. I haven't seen it in a really long time.
Well, it ends with you not sure if I'll just say it. Okay. It ends if you. I won't say who, but it ends if you're not sure if because this thing can transform into any person and make itself look just like them and behave like them too. You're not sure if there's two characters at the end, and you're not sure if one of them is the thing. Or if they're both humans, or if maybe something else, you don't know. Maybe the dog or whatever. Is the dog still alive at the end? Or he's
no, the dog is definitely
dead. He gets destroyed.
Yeah.
He gets blown up. He gets eaten. That special effects in that movie, maybe trailblazing, I'd say.
Mm-hmm. Hold up better than a lot of CGI. That
Yeah. That's my favorite. That's the one thing I pull from that movie that I'm like, that's awesome. Like the practical effects and stuff in that.
It's really gross.
Yeah,
like in a cool way. Like it does stuff with special effects that you like wouldn't think of.
Yeah,
like,
it's got to be one of the big set piece scenes, but like the one where his stomach opens and eats the guy's arm or whatever. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, and that's another one like Alien. That's kind of, you feel isolated, like completely. Like it's more open, I'd say, than like, I mean, you're not out in the middle of space, but they're not going anywhere. They're in Antarctica. No one lives there.
They're pretty screwed either way. Yeah.
Oh god, I love the opening of that. Like just like how much like lore and stuff you can fit into that, where they just like they arrive at the like the base or whatever in their snowmobiles. They're like chasing after. Oh, that's so cool.
That's where they build it up.
And there's all they're like, what happened here? I love scenes where they're like, what happened? There's all this dead stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
All this
thing's
stuff.
really good.
Yeah.
I don't know if I guess like because the reboot actually is prequel.
It's
it shows
about
what happened to the people there.
yeah.
But
okay.
I don't
cool.
think we'll ever see anything with the thing anymore, which is kind of sad. Because
I was gonna say, do you guys think that if they made like a modern reboot of it, that would be cool? Would you dig that?
I'd be happy with it. I was whenever
if done right.
Whenever,
I mean, clearly if done right.
Whenever Prometheus and Alien Covenant came out, it made me excited. I would be happy for another The Thing. Depending on who, like if they got like Eli Roth.
Eli Roth would be good.
Yeah, just because of how gory it is and everything.
I kind of want to see what Danny McBride does with Halloween.
Oh, interesting. I forgot about that. Did you see that? Is he?
I heard something about that.
He might just be writing it.
Oh, okay. Well, still though.
Yeah.
That's really weird. Yeah. Huh.
Interesting. Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Jamie Lee Curtis coming back for that? I think I read that like 3 days ago.
I want to say I saw like a Twitter post about that, but I might be confusing it with that meme where they put Michael Myers in her Activia commercials.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen those?
So I got a few more here. Like I already said, Alien. Alien's probably my favorite horror film of all time.
Wow,
I don't know if I could rank the rest of these, but Alien's probably my favorite.
Okay.
The next one on here is interesting because a lot of people don't necessarily classify it as horror, but it's a horror film to me. It's kind of like a thriller too. Silence of the Lambs.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Like,
I think it's definitely could be considered horror.
Yeah, it's weird. One of the only horror, if you're like horror thriller types to win Best Picture at the Oscars. Still crazy to me that it did that. I think it came out like summer.
Get something too?
Yeah, he got Best Actor.
I thought so, yeah.
Interestingly enough, he got Best Actor, and I think he's only in that movie for like 35 minutes.
It's definitely not very much. Yeah.
God, that my dad. That's like one of his favorite movies, and we were talking about it. This is another one I've actually seen in theaters with I went with one of my closer friends to go see it.
Was it like? Did you see like a re-release of it?
Yeah, well, it's the same movie. It was just like in theaters, and it was really cool.
Yeah.
Did you see it when like that guy's movies came?
Yeah.
Like they played his movies at like a film festival.
I can't think of his name.
Okay.
Jonathan Demme. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? Jonathan Demme? I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. I'll look it up in a second.
Fine, yeah.
One of you guys are talking, I'll correct myself if I'm wrong. But yeah, Silence of the Lambs, super good. The scene at the end where they're like in the basement with he's got like the night vision on and she's like walking around. Oh my god, that's so scary. That's a scene that's like I was saying earlier, like movies don't like I don't really get scared a whole lot in movies. Just because I've seen so much, but that scene's just like terrifying to me.
Yeah.
Because I mean, up until that point, you've seen like all kinds of crazy stuff happen to like characters. Like, just because she's a main character, you don't feel like she's safe. And like in that scene, I was like, she might die right here.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And it's like scary because of what that guy's doing.
Yeah, that's like another contender I could see for best of all time. Just like
it's probably like 2 or 3, like if I'm like ranking them. But yeah, it's super good. It has a couple different stories going on, which is really cool. Yeah. It's interesting how they took a character, Hannibal Lecter, who had been seen previously. This is actually a sequel, Silence of the Lambs. He'd been seen previously in Manhunter or something like that.
Yeah,
and it was fine.
Manhunter.
Is it Manhunter?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fine, but like I actually have that. I have like the box set of all of them, and that one's like. This is probably my least favorite. It doesn't have Anthony Hopkins in it, which is weird.
Yeah.
But they took a character that from that and put him in as, I'd say like a side character. He's the one you remember the most, but he's not the main character of the movie. And they give him like a little side story that's going on, that like where he's like in the prison and he's like breaking out and all that. That's amazing. Yeah. Such a good scene. It's so like clever. That's a really, really good movie. And it might be one that you watch if you're, I don't know, if you're like, I don't want to say squeamish because it is kind of like bloody.
It's a
but
pretty heavy
if you
movie.
If you don't if you like maybe more realistic take, those other ones we've said are a little bit outlandish.
Well, yeah, it's pretty heavy. It's almost like all the stuff in that movie could like happen. You know? Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. I definitely think so.
Yeah.
And in some cases, kind of has.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, great movie. I absolutely love it. I'm gonna leave one more for whenever we go back around. Jeffrey, you got another one?
Yeah, let me see what I got. How many more do you think we should do? Because like I could just go straight to my top one,
you go two more. Jeffrey or Connor go two more. I'll go one more.
Okay, two more. So these are my top two. So number 2 is Psycho.
I'm glad you said Psycho because Psycho almost made my list. Like you're talking the original.
Oh, of course, yeah, 1960.
Norman Bates.
Yep, black and white.
What a great movie!
Hitchcock,
started the genre of horror.
Yep.
I would almost say. Well, I mean, you can
the slasher.
Yes, the slasher. Yeah, you're right. Amazing movie. One of the like better like twists kind of things in it, I'd say. Another one where you have a main character who you think I'm not gonna say spoiler alert. This movie's like
it's
like
really
almost
old,
100 years old.
Yeah.
No, it's not that old. It's like 70. Whatever.
The only thing with the spoiler is that so the way I can like judge how high movies are on my like list of things is whether they like if I watch it right now, if it gave me chills, then that I'm like, okay, that's probably one of my favorites. Yeah. Psycho gives me chills every time that the twist happens. The ending of the movie when he's
yes,
talking, I get chills every single time.
Great
so
acting.
If you don't know the spoiler to Psycho, stop right here and go watch that movie right now.
Yeah, if you're a horror fan, if you're any kind of a horror film, if you're any kind of a film fan, you owe it to yourself to watch the original Psycho.
Yeah,
just because of like how like much it influenced just filmmaking. Alfred Hitchcock, maybe his best work, I'd say.
Yeah, I would consider
North by
it.
Northwest is probably my favorite.
And Rear Window is really good, but
I actually I really like the Birds.
Yeah, Birds.
The Birds I almost put on here too.
Yeah, I still think Psycho's better than all those other ones for me though, personally.
Yeah, it's really good, and like God, the shower scene.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
You thought you were watching your main character the whole movie, and you're like, she was a pretty famous actor at the time too, then like or actress. I'm sorry. At the time, and like. Just to kill her off and like that way and everything, God, could you imagine seeing that movie in theaters like back then? Whenever that didn't happen that much.
Literally, you can't even replicate that. In like, there's nothing that they could show on screen nowadays that would really be shocking enough for us. I mean, people were like fainting and stuff in the theaters.
Yeah, you're right.
Close to that level.
I don't know. Apparently, Mother.
I was about to say.
Mother.
I was about to say. There's a scene. There's
a
scene in Mother where like 8 people walked out of the theater I was at.
Really?
People weren't fainting or anything.
Did it involve a baby?
It did involve.
Okay,
a
because
baby.
some customers came out and they were like, "That baby, oh my god."
Don't say it. Yet.
I don't know what it was.
Okay.
I don't.
It's hard.
I kind of know what it was.
It's a little hard to watch. I'm not gonna lie. But that movie's good. I'll talk about that some other time. Yeah. I like Mother. It's very controversial right now, though, about liking that movie. But anyways, Psycho, fantastic movie. Go see it if you haven't seen it
Yeah, I was
already.
like, there's not really much more to say about it than like everything about it's probably already been said. But I just think that once you get to the best movies of all time, it's like that's up there. You know?
I think that's in AFI's top 100 films.
I would think so. Yeah.
I think a few of these might be though. I think Silence of the Lambs is in there too.
Yeah, I think so.
What you got for me, Connor?
Let's go top 2.
Shaun of the Dead.
I was about to put that on mine.
Interesting.
I was gonna put that on mine, but I consider it more of a comedy though.
I'm fine with it.
But it's fine.
I guess horror is whatever you want it. Like
that's true. Yeah. Well, and you had the Cabin in the Woods is kind of like that a little bit too.
Comedy. I mean, it's very gory, but
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but Shaun of the Dead.
It's a great rom-com. It's probably my favorite zombie movie.
Rom-com zom.
That's true.
Oh,
I think somebody's already called it that. That wasn't me. Yeah. Somebody's already called that before.
No.
It's directed by probably my favorite director of the last 10 years.
Oh yeah.
And
Edgar Wright. Oh
so
yeah, same time. Yeah, really good movie. Really funny movie. It sometimes you see those movies that are playing a spin on a classic genre or something, and it's not funny at all, but it's trying to be, and it just totally fails. Shaun of the Dead's the opposite. That movie is way funnier than it has any right to be, I'd almost say.
Yeah.
The scene where they're all pretending to be zombies walking across the street. Oh my god, it's so funny.
Yeah.
Great movie.
what's crazy about that movie is they were just coming off of like a really small TV show, and then they were just like, yeah, let's make a really amazing movie, whatever. You know, like I don't even know how they pulled that off, but yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it kind of like plays off the original like George Romero or whatever, like Night of the Living Dead,
which I'm pretty sure he has a cameo. I want to say
he might. I'm not sure
because I know
I've seen that movie a lot of times. I don't know if there's
I don't. To be honest,
I think
really know
I think he's a
like.
zombie.
George Romero.
Yeah, I don't really know what he looks
He just died recently too. Yeah.
Old guy with.
He's got big glasses,
Big glasses.
and long gray hair, and he wears like a tan vest sort of thing.
I've like I mean I know who he is, but I just haven't like. But yeah,
Yeah.
I almost put Night of the Living Dead on here because it kind of started.
That
Zombies.
one's on my list.
Is
yeah.
it on? We're getting to it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's not my number one though.
Yeah, but yeah, super good, awesome movie.
Yep.
Is
Not
that
my
your
favorite.
I was
No.
gonna say, is that your favorite from the Cornetto trilogy?
Definitely
I think
not.
we all. I would wager to think that we all have 3 different ones because I think yours is Hot Fuzz.
It is Hot Fuzz.
Okay.
Mine is
Is it Shaun of the Dead?
no, it's The World's End. World's End is
Yes,
my
high
Hey,
five.
World's
That's
End
my
is,
favorite.
World's
yeah.
End is my favorite. Even though I kept trying to say like the Seth Rogen one or whatever.
Oh,
this
Paul?
is the end.
Oh, this is the end.
Yeah, I was like, is it this is the end or is it the
Yeah,
World's
the
End?
World's End.
Yeah,
The World's End is fantastic.
I love the World's
Yeah.
End.
Like
Yeah,
I don't
love
even
Hot
know
Fuzz
if
too.
I don't even know if it's necessarily a better movie. I just like it more because it's just ridiculous.
I think
great.
it's
Got Bilbo
it's
in
just
there.
personal
Yeah.
preference at this point.
It is.
Yeah.
They're all
because
good.
they're all great.
Because I like Baby Driver better than all 3 of those.
I would almost agree with you. I think I agree. Yeah, I like that movie a lot.
Baby Driver is really good.
It's one of my favorite movies
We
ever.
talked about
probably.
that before.
Yeah.
We talked about that.
All right. Next.
The last I had more. Okay, so just before I like, because this is my last one. I'm gonna say.
Oh yeah. Because we already.
I had like more on here that I was like, the original Halloween is another one that I was like,
I had that one as well.
Yeah, I was like, how did I not have that on this list? And it's just like just barely miscut because I love that movie.
Yeah.
That's like something like I like picture whenever I picture like horror films.
I've watched that movie every Halloween, every single time.
The original
I don't remember a Halloween. I haven't watched that movie.
The original Scream is another one I almost had on here. I love Wes Craven.
Yeah.
And one of my friends like showed that to me a couple of years ago, and I was like, oh my god, I can't believe I haven't seen this before.
Yeah.
And that movie's like yet again, it's kind of like Cabin in the Woods or one of those where
It's
it, like,
ridiculous. Yeah.
it like kind of plays off the tropes and then just kind of like builds them. I love it whenever like movies are self-aware.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then
yeah.
one more I almost had was Wes Craven's A New Nightmare. Have you seen that?
No.
It was again like I didn't want to have too many of that style because Evil Dead's kind of like that too. That's the it's like the Nightmare on Elm Street like reboot sort of.
Okay.
And Freddy comes to kill the actor who played him. And he comes
Wow.
to kill the actress.
I've heard of this, but I didn't know this was what that
It's
was
nuts.
about.
Have
Wow.
you seen it?
I have not seen it, but
It's
I think I've heard of it.
It's my favorite of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, and it's
Wow.
like not really like I don't know. It's like ridiculous again, but I really like it.
No, that's awesome. Yeah.
But for my list, this isn't Alien's my number one, but this is somewhere on there. I don't know. The Witch,
The Witch.
recent one.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
No.
Connor, have you seen it?
I have.
Hey, Connor saw it.
I'd say it's probably my favorite of the horror. I don't know.
It's a weird one to put into horror, but
This
I
isn't
definitely
the
think
Blair
it's horror.
Witch, right?
No. It's just
Okay.
called The Witch.
The Witch.
Have you not heard of this?
I think
Came
I
out
have.
a couple years ago. Is that
a
is that
couple
like the
years.
art house theaters?
Oh, okay.
It was
okay.
at Westtown. I saw it at Westtown.
Oh,
okay.
Okay.
But not everyone has the same theaters as us.
You're like, oh.
But
Okay,
yeah, that movie like is so if we're like comparing if I'll do like a weird analogy here. It's
Okay.
like the Dark Souls of like horror type stuff because there's nothing like really that scary in it. You just feel such a feel of dread the whole movie.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And it's something that feels like
So it's very
real.
serious then.
oh, it's super serious.
movie,
No
okay.
kind of comedy or anything in
It's a period piece about Puritans. It's about as serious as you can get.
Okay.
that. It is
yeah.
a period piece actually, yeah.
But does it have supernatural stuff in it, or is it just?
It's
is it
more
real?
realistic. Like
Interesting. Is it about like
It's
like
about
Salem
witches.
Witch kind of thing?
Yeah, it has
Okay.
undertones of that. It's
Okay.
not
But
strictly
it's not
about
that. Yeah. Okay.
That movie like had me guessing too what was going on, and at the end, I talked to some of my friends, and like all of us like got something different out of that movie at the end, like what we thought was going on the whole time, or what we thought was the point of the movie or whatever. And God, the scene with Black Phillip.
Oh yeah.
I'll just say that, like, oh my God, towards the end of the movie, and I was just like, I was like, I had chills. It's real quiet, and I saw that movie theater. It's real quiet, and he just like talks, and you're just like, oh my God, it's so scary. And like the very end scene of the movie too, where they're all around the fire, and all that scared me to death. Not gonna lie. That movie, and it's all spoken in like Old English too, which is interesting.
That sounds interesting.
A lot of people had like it's kind of like one of the harder barriers of entry of my list because it's not something for everyone. I wouldn't recommend this to a lot of people, but I love it.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
it's really good.
That sounds like one.
It's shocking too during different scenes.
Okay.
So if you don't know what it is, it's this like Puritan family's been kicked out of like their colony. And they're out living by themselves. And
the village? No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. I had to.
It's not that.
I know.
The twist at the end.
There's a road.
It's modern day.
There's a road.
Modern day.
Oh, M. Night Shyamalan. You actually really like Split though. But anyways,
did nobody put
Sixth Sense?
The Sixth Sense? Yeah,
No, I did not.
I thought about it, but I consider it kind of like drama.
It's
I don't know, suspense. You know, I don't know.
Thriller.
You could put it up there,
I
but
don't know.
yeah.
But anyways, so yeah, they move out of their colony because they're banished. They're out there by themselves, and one day there's is there 4 kids, 5 kids? Because there's the
4 kids,
older girl, the
the
twins,
and then
the little boy, and then the baby. So
oh
5.
yeah, there is 5.
Yeah. One day this is at the start of the movie, so I'm not spoiling anything. I'm just setting it up. But one day the little girl is playing with the baby outside, and she looks up, and the baby is gone into the woods.
Oh yeah, shoot.
Because witches in them woods.
Because witches in them woods.
Witches.
And other stuff. But it's very good. Jeffrey, you would really like it, I think. Cinematography in it is really good.
Oh,
too.
yes.
I'm a really big fan of that. So,
I know you are.
Yeah.
Cinemaphile.
Cinemaphile.
Yeah, you got to see that. It's definitely like up there for me. I love that movie.
Yeah.
What you got, man?
So my favorite horror movie of all time.
Ever.
I think I might have already told you guys this before, but my favorite horror movie of all time is The Shining.
The Shining. Okay.
Yeah.
So The Shining was another one I almost had on here.
Oh yeah.
Wow. The Shining is such a like open for interpretation movie.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite things about it.
Yeah. And I've seen that movie probably like 3 times, and every time I see it, I'm like, I think something completely different this time.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, and it's always funny because like Stephen King, I think, hates that one the most.
Yeah.
But I think that's the best thing about it, because if you think about like adaptations, and what makes a good adaptation isn't how true it is to the source material. It's
better.
how they adapted it. You know, I think it's exactly. Yeah. Like whenever somebody makes their own thing off of another thing, I find that like amazing and cool.
It's so interesting how that movie you're watching it and you start to become familiar with the places of the hotel.
Yeah.
They did a really good job of like the scene I always remember is the kid on the big wheel going around the hallways. That scene's amazing. Like it was shot so perfect.
Yeah, with the dolly and everything. Whenever people ask, because a lot of people haven't seen it. Like I don't know if you've asked around with just random people. Like I'm like, have you ever seen The Shining? No, I haven't seen The Shining. It's like you've got to see.
I don't
this.
know how like you could not see that. Like I've seen that movie.
I don't even know what that is. You know,
The Shining's amazing.
A scene that I always tell them about, because they're like, well, is it actually scary? Because you know, like it's old, so it's from 19. You know, it's not even scary or whatever. And I'm just like, a scene that I always pull is when he's riding around the tricycle.
Yeah.
And it's because the whole movie he's been doing it, and it kind of feels tense. It feels like something's gonna happen, but nothing happens.
Yeah, the
whole
first time you're thinking like, oh, what?
It does like a full-on minute or 2 long sequence of just following him, and then nothing. He just like rolls up to that door, and it's the room, whatever.
Yeah.
But then one time it actually something finally happens.
Yeah.
And it's 2 twin girls standing there in the middle of the hall, terrifying. And it just goes, and you're just like, and they go, "Come play with us, Danny."
Yeah.
And then I'm just like chills every single time I think of that scene.
Like, I've had so much like thought into The Shining, like is especially with the big reveal at the end with the picture of him being there, like like 80 years ago or something like that.
Yeah.
Like it was insane. I've like wrestled with that movie so much. Like, did he bring him up there to kill him, or was he did something overtake him while he's there, or something like? And you could pick apart like scene by scene from that movie, and like,
it's almost like he made it and like was like, all right, the plot makes no sense, but like that's the thing, like that's
Man, that scene
we're
where he's
going
like
for.
hugging the lady in the bathtub and she like
Yeah, that's one of the
transforms.
best ones
God.
too. Yeah, it just comes out of nowhere.
What a great movie.
Still, that scene, if you watch it now, it looks like it's like as visceral as like a modern horror movie.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god, what the hell, you know?
Yeah, it's
And then there's just weird scenes, like there's like that bunny and the guy doing whatever in the
Oh,
room,
yeah.
and it just zooms in on it, and it's
just
just
zooms
like,
in on
what
it.
the hell is going on? You
Yeah.
know, like it's such a scary movie, but I love it so much.
it really is, and it's very like moody, I would say.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like is it weird? Like brooding, like
Yeah.
the whole time. It almost
It's one of the best examples of like atmosphere going from just like, oh yeah, it's daytime and we're driving through the mountains, to like it's snowing and we're in the middle of nowhere and there's a killer on the loose. You know, it's
man,
like,
the
it's
maze
awesome.
or whatever. Where
Yeah.
okay, there's a really cool scene in that movie where he's like looking at the model of the maze and it like zooms in on the actual maze or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I don't even see how that like they did that.
I
That
know,
scene's
right?
so amazing.
Yeah.
It looks like you're literally just staring.
That
at
is a really good scene. I always that one gets, I think that gets taken for granted a little bit.
Yeah.
Nobody really talks about that one very much.
What a transition! I can't even tell where.
Yeah,
it
because at
happened.
first you're like, okay, so I'm looking at a real maze, and it's like, or is it?
It's a model.
backwards?
So you're
Yeah.
looking at he's looking at a model in like the room or whatever,
Yeah.
and it zooms in on the model, and then suddenly like you see like two little characters on the model,
Yeah.
and then you're looking at an actual like aerial shot of a maze. Like,
Yeah.
how did they do that? I have no idea how they did that.
Wonderful editing.
Yeah,
I bet it was
editing.
a hard movie to edit because like certain stuff doesn't make sense.
Yeah, no, yeah, but no, like that's
You've seen that before.
like as
Yeah.
far as horror movies go, I have a really like iron stomach when it comes to horror movies. So I'll go in there and just like when I watched The Conjuring, which I liked a lot. I watched it with my aunt and my cousin, and I mean they were hugging each other and like oh god, you know, the whole movie, and I was just like,
God.
you guys stop. Oh my god. But whenever I watched The Shining, I was like I don't close my eyes, but I was just like, all right, this is a thing, you know. Like for some reason that one just gets to me more than anything else.
That might be the one that is the scariest of all the ones we've said. Maybe that, or I really think the original Alien is really scary.
It is, yeah. It's really good. But yeah, that's my favorite horror movie. What's we know Hunters
pretty
is
great.
Alien.
Alien.
Mine is
Conrad.
not that scary,
Oh, that's okay.
but still really great.
I've
I'm
given
sure
you
it
my
is, yeah.
I've given you my opinion on the whole horror thing.
The Wicker Man,
Oh, like the old
70s?
not the Nicolas Cage one.
Okay.
One. Ah, okay.
Just clarifying for everyone, it's not the bees.
It's not the Bees. It's the original with
I-
Christopher Lee.
Connor's like funny story. It's the Nicolas Cage one, actually.
Yes.
I'm
just a fan of randomly trains coming into the shot.
I have a confession to make. I actually haven't seen that one.
Oh,
Me
it's,
neither.
It's
I've-
great.
You
I've seen
finally
it.
found something
I've
Hunter
seen
hasn't
so
seen.
many movies, but I haven't seen
I've never
that
seen
one.
that either,
I know, like I've heard like how good it is and stuff like that. Christopher Lee is like amazing, you know. Count Dooku.
Oh, yeah.
And the original.
And the Hammer Dracula.
Hammer
yeah,
Dracula.
I was about to say. Hammer Dracula.
The Hammer Dracula.
So what do you like about this film, Connor?
Just how bizarre it is.
Okay.
It's one of those movies that you have to watch a couple of times
Yeah.
to really get it.
Is he going there to solve like a murder or something like that?
Well, he gets like
I know a little bit about it.
he's a British inspector.
Yeah.
And he gets a call regarding a missing persons case of a child on the island.
Okay.
It's a small island off like the English Channel.
And it's not connected.
Oh,
yeah, it's
interesting.
like completely.
Another isolated movie. I kind of like isolation
The
in movies.
theme of this whole list has been isolation because The Shining also.
Yeah.
That's how you make a good horror film.
Yep.
Anyways.
Yeah.
Cut people off.
Yeah.
Before you go
That-
on,
there's nothing more scary than
what
that.
time period is this movie? Like, is it like 1950s or like,
No,
when was it made?
I'd say
because it was made in the 70s, right?
it was made in. I have it written down.
Because I don't even know. I know that the Nicolas Cage one is like early 2000s probably, but
It was made in
Garbage.
'73.
okay, yeah. Okay.
And I'd say it takes place around that time.
So
That being
it's probably perfectly watchable then, as far as like, because a lot of times you'll go back really far. Because one of one of the ones I saw earlier that like a lot of people put number 1 is The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. It's a silent film.
Oh,
you know?
I've seen that.
I haven't seen that, but
it's hard to watch.
Yeah, I think I watched like the first half.
Wouldn't
of
even
that.
be in my top 100 horror films.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, I feel bad saying that.
That's
'Cause
like-
that's probably someone's like favorite horror film.
A lot of people. It's kind of like the Citizen Kane of horror movies, apparently.
Yeah, or like Metropolis of sci-fi films. A lot of people have that
Yeah.
as their favorite, and I'm.
Yeah, exactly.
By the way, was Jonathan Demme?
Oh, it was.
And he
Okay.
died in April. Very sad.
Oh gosh, yeah,
He
that
died this
is.
last April. But yeah, Wicker Man. I actually need to watch that.
I
Do
wanna
you know if
watch
it's
that
on,
now.
Like any kind of maybe like Amazon has it or something.
I want to say the first time I saw it, it was on
Sci-Fi Channel.
Stars.
I'm kind of upset. I saw it on McKay, and I think it was like a decent price, but I kind of thought it was the Nicolas Cage version, so I was like,
You can tell.
The other
Yeah.
day, I was at McKay, and there was like
need to go there
the
and
special
visit
box set
That's
of
the
it,
thing I
and
think
it
I
was
saw,
like
yeah.
a wooden crate,
Yep, that's the one I
What?
saw. I saw that same thing.
and
yeah.
it's pretty cheap.
How much was it? Like $20?
No, it was like $5 maybe.
Yeah, I was thinking about getting it, but then
Guys,
was like,
I will
wait.
see you later. I'm gonna.
you're like, see ya.
I probably will get that actually. That's cool.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Is it like a laser disc?
No, those are laser discs.
I saw that
earlier.
Laser disc.
and
discs.
one of my favorite endings to a movie.
I
I
actually.
think I know the ending just based off of the Nicolas Cage one.
I
Yeah,
know
yeah.
the Nicolas Cage ending. I actually have seen.
It's
the movie.
it's pretty much the same
Oh,
thing.
we should do a
They
word.
kill him.
We should.
The one thing that the remake does have over
Uh-huh.
the old one is it doesn't have a
Laughability.
scene where he just starts punching women.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Was that
God.
where he's like as a bear suit or something? Oh
The
my
bear
god.
suit scene.
That's so good, yeah.
We should do a list of worst movies of all time.
We should. That would
Because
be
the
amazing.
Wicker Man would be
Oh,
top 10.
that would
Okay,
be amazing.
okay, guys, just bear with us. We'll do a list of top
Yes,
10
that will
worst movies
definitely happen.
ever. We will do it. I'll do
Oh.
video games too.
Yeah.
I've
we could
played
do
some-
it when Disaster Artist comes out.
Yes, that's
That'd be
perfect.
perfect, yeah.
That's perfect. Yes, Connor, would you want to come back on for that?
I'd be down.
Oh
That'd
yeah.
be awesome, yeah.
So that's all of our lists. I think we've gone kind of long, but that's okay.
Yeah.
What the thing that we've talked about before with this is that we don't want to like constrain ourselves. We just want to like get it all out, and
Yeah.
then if you guys like want to, you can skip ahead if you're not like into it.
Yeah.
I just have listened to so many podcasts in my days, and like they're like, "Well, we're out of time, bye," and I'm like, "Well, I wasn't done listening to what you're saying." So-
Yeah.
So we're shifting just a little bit here to horror games. I don't know if you played a lot of horror games, Connor.
I have one game
One
that
entry?
I wrote down.
That's perfect because like I was saying earlier, this was a little bit harder than I thought it would be because I haven't played a whole lot of horror games because they used to terrify me whenever I was a kid.
Oh yeah.
But I have played I've played my fair share recently. It kind of got to a point too where they were getting all samey, like with Amnesia and like Slenderman
Yeah,
and like all those
true.
PC ones.
Yeah.
But Jeffrey and I came up with some lists. I got 3-4-ish on here. The first one I'll go ahead and say is I don't know if this is controversial or not. I feel like it kind of is. Dead Space 2. Not the first
I have
one.
the first one on mine.
You have the first one?
Yeah.
I thought you might. It's kind of like
Yeah.
the Evil Dead thing.
Yeah,
Dead
yeah.
Space 2. So the reason I said well, you can talk about Dead Space 1 after,
Yeah.
but the reason I said Dead Space 2 is because I really liked 1 a lot.
Yeah.
1 was like probably maybe the scariest thing I've played.
Well,
Just
and you know
because
what's
at the
funny
time-
is I think that this is like you said, it's exactly the same situation because I think Dead Space 2 is better. I just prefer the first one.
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
just
I don't know.
it's just your preference. If you
Yeah.
don't, okay, so let me back it up because people might not know what this is.
Uh-huh.
Dead Space was a game made by EA, the first one,
Yeah.
and I feel like that game kind of came out of nowhere. Like, do you remember any kind of like teasing or anything about that game? I don't remember
I
even
used
a
to
trailer.
get Game Informer when it came out, and I remember there being a hand, like
picture
an
of the arm
on the
falling off.
on the magazine cover, and for some reason I was like, it scared the crap out of me. I was like, oh
Yeah.
god, that looks horrible. Yeah.
Dead Space plays off the whole alien like aspect
Yeah.
where you're like on a ship, there's something there, and you're by yourself, and you got to fight your way through.
Yeah, except for it's like multiple aliens. And
Yes,
they're disgusting.
and They're
looking.
like not like a xenomorph. Like,
mean,
they're
they-
right in
yeah.
your face.
they're like what you would see a demon transform into. You know, like the aliens that you fight in that game are like what you would see demons transform into in like horror movies.
Yeah.
Like, they've crawl around and stuff. It's like,
There's different variations of
Yeah.
them too that like get crazy. The cool thing about this game, the cool and also weird and disgusting that I think it's cool is to kill these guys. You didn't just get headshots; you had to chop off their limbs, one by one. And it had. I remember at the time it had such a cool mechanic of like you could hit like R2 or whatever, and your gun would the plasma cutter, which is like the main gun, it would switch from vertical to horizontal.
That's right.
Depending on which one you're facing. So if you're shooting at their legs, you'd go horizontal because you're trying to slice it off from the bottom, and then if you're going arms, you'd go vertical because you would want to take it off from like where the limb starts at. Very good game. Second one, I just the reason I said the second one is because I felt like it was a good mixture of still being scary. I don't like the third one.
No. Yeah, big drop on the third
oh
one.
Man,
I was so
disappointed.
Yeah,
just because that was one of my more favorite series. Connor, you should definitely jump on this. It's a great PS3 or Xbox 360 game.
Yeah,
I could definitely do that.
Yeah,
sounds interesting.
All three of them are on there. The story I think is decent too. I actually like the story of that game.
Yeah, it's. I haven't really played a whole lot of games that do this, but like you start playing it and you know that there's like you walk into a place and you're like, there's gonna be something horrible looking in here. Like it's gonna be absolutely like the things are so grossly rendered in it. It's almost like you have to fight like Geiger stuff the whole game. And it's like, but you're just like have a pistol or like you said like that gun. Or
yeah, and you don't have like the typical like machine gun or rocket launcher.
And
you
it's
have
one of those
tools.
Yeah, and it's one of those where you run out of supplies.
Your guy is like a miner almost.
Yeah,
or he's like
cool.
A space miner, and like the iconic suit is really cool.
Yeah,
I love the way that suit looks. And then the second one like really upped the ante. The second one added like a decent multiplayer suite, which I actually kind of liked.
I don't think I ever tested it.
One team played as the aliens, and your goal was to kill all the humans, and the humans were trying to turn on some drill to like blow up the
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Are they necromorphs? Is that what they're called?
I think so.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
It was similar. I know it was similar to xenomorph. I think it was necromorph.
Yeah.
Anyways, great. I love the first one too. The second one it had like the flying around a little bit, and it had like a little bit more like
it's kind of like Arkham Asylum, Arkham City.
Yeah,
it's
like, you can't go wrong.
Arkham Asylum has amazing stuff. Arkham City expanded on it.
Just your preference. Yeah, or like Galaxy and Galaxy 2, Super Mario.
If I were to recommend one of them to somebody, I'd be like, just play the second one. It's more recent. It's got more things. You don't really need.
It's got some
to know
set
the
pieces
story
in
of
it
the first
that are cool
one,
too.
Yeah.
And there's like a recap, I'm sure, or something you can look up online.
Yeah.
Great games. And I highly recommend them. I hope that series isn't dead, but I feel like after that third one it might be.
Yeah.
EA does this thing where they like will bring back a franchise that people are like asking for, but they don't like do it the way people are asking. Like Mirror's Edge Catalyst is a good representation, I think, of that. Or they like, okay, it was like they were just like pulling out their list of like fans service, I guess, because everyone was calling for a Mirror's Edge sequel, and they just kind of checked it off, but didn't like quite make what people wanted. Anyways, I feel like maybe that would be a Dead Space sequel if they ever tried to do that.
Yeah.
Next game I have on here, I'm gonna save this other one for last because I feel like it's probably my favorite. But Resident Evil 7. Really recent, and I'd also put I'll talk about that one in a second. There's 2 Resident Evil games I have on here.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
I bet our number 1 is the same then. Probably we'll see though.
Well, no, because Resident Evil 4 was like I had that at like 3 or 4-ish. I didn't really know. Yeah. Okay. So Resident Evil 7 just came out January, I think. A few months ago. We talked about it. I've talked about it on the show a few times just because of how much I liked it. It really had that like Metroidvania feel to it a little bit, where you like backtrack to like you'd get something and then it would cause you to be able to open up a certain place, like going backwards.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Around the farm. If Resident Evil 7 was the first 2/3 of that game, just the whole time, it'd probably be my game of the year right now.
Oh yeah.
It's just like the last. It kind of leaves me with a sour taste. Like
you're right. Yeah. Whenever we played that, we were like, oh yeah, it was pretty good, but yeah, I agree.
Like the ending, I don't think is bad necessarily. It's just like you're on. So you go to a ship.
Yeah.
And like
something about it was just like off. Yeah.
Well, you had seen the enemies so many times. There's only like 2 enemy variations.
Yeah.
2 or 3 enemy variations, and the first part you were exploring the house, and like I don't know. I feel like the family members were the scariest part about that game.
Yeah.
And there's none of that at the end.
Yeah. The weird black blob people that you have to fight are just like. They're just so you can fight something, basically.
But I won't go down on it anymore because this is what I have it on my list of favorite horror games.
Yeah.
So the stuff where you go in the basement of their house and like there's like all this goop and stuff, and like you're like you have a flashlight and you're just like traversing. You have like 3 bullets, maybe not even that, and you're just like going around, and it's man, that game was so moody and so scary.
Yeah, it had great atmosphere, which is hilarious because Resident Evil 6 was just like a big dumb Capcom action game, and then they're like, no, we're supposed to make a horror game. Oh, okay. It's like
it's weird. I almost wish it was a reboot. I almost wish that was restarted Resident Evil.
Like just,
it was just called Resident Evil.
Yeah, that would be
I thought
cool.
it was when it was first announced.
Yeah, I feel like some people might be a little bit like, oh, that sucks,
stingy.
because like there's a lot of characters that
Purists.
people love, like Chris Redfield and Leon and stuff like that.
But yeah, Resident Evil 7, super great game. The family member stuff where you're just like something I didn't say about this game but I want to mention is it's set like in the South. And I feel like that's maybe an area like South, like not South America, South in the United States, like it's around like Louisiana. I feel like that's an area that doesn't get like mentioned enough in video games.
That's true. Yeah,
there's not really a whole lot. There's lots of like New York, there's lots of like snowy areas, I feel like the South like sometimes doesn't have a good representation. In this game, they're kind of like hillbillies, but still, like, I don't know. It's still like they're making
in the right direction.
It's a step in the right direction because I don't know. I feel like the South needs more love whenever it comes to like movies too. To be honest, I feel like
that's why Baby Driver with Atlanta, that was awesome.
Yeah, and Logan Lucky, I really liked a lot
that's
too,
right.
and that was set like in West Virginia and North Carolina.
That was a good movie.
Twas a good movie.
Twas a good movie. I haven't seen that one. But,
you got another one, man?
For horror games.
For horror games, scary games.
I don't know. I've got like 5. Should I just go to the top?
Just say one more you want to say.
Okay.
Or I'm gonna say one more, and then you can say one more, and then Connor can say the
okay, I'll
name.
say my number. I've got a top 5. I'll say my number 5, and then I'll go to my number what my favorite one is at the end. But like the only reason I really want to say my number 5 is because I think it's a little bit underrated, and it's the Evil Within.
Evil Within, interesting.
Which they're making a sequel to.
It comes out
this year, I think.
That was one we almost talked about in our fall game preview, but we just
did you play the Evil Within?
So my experience with the Evil Within is I played 4 hours.
Okay.
Liked it a lot. Was very confused, and I thought it was a little hard. But
it is.
I'm kind of a sissy when it comes to the games. Yeah. I should have played it more. I wasn't really stuck.
Yeah.
I just didn't for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But I did like it.
I just feel like as far as atmosphere goes, they did like almost everything you could possibly do. The game, for one thing, is in wide. It's in like CinemaScope. Like it's like in like how a movie is.
Yeah,
really.
And then it also has film grain. Like not like as bad as you would think. It's just like slightly.
It feels like you're playing something else than a video game.
Yeah, it's crazy, and it's made by the guy who like made Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, I was about to say heavy Resident Evil 4 vibes, which I'll go ahead and say Resident Evil 4 was another one I almost had on here. I didn't just because I feel like I love Resident Evil 4. It's a great game. I just feel like everyone always says that one.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know. I want to do something like a little different.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Resident Evil 4 is a great game. But
yeah, I think the Evil Within
it captures a lot of that with Evil Within.
No, I think it's super underrated. One of my favorite things about it is there's like the weapons in it seem like the guy who was making it was just like, I want to make the weirdest stuff you could put in a game. Like the weapon stuff, I can't even tell you some of the weapons that are in it. They're just like, there's just some crazy stuff in it.
I do remember there being like weird combinations and stuff like that. Of like,
exactly.
Like a rake with like a shotgun or something.
Yeah, no, and there's really good boss battles, and a lot. It's funny because a lot of people like Resident Evil 4, like you said, but if you think about it, you're fighting the same henchmen kind of over and over again. But like this game, there's all kinds of different stuff that you fight, all kinds of different bosses. The first thing, like I'm pretty sure the game opens up and you're like a detective at first.
I really like the opening. Yeah. Aren't you going into a museum?
Yeah, you go into like a museum at first, and so and there's like a murder or something that happens. So so then you're kind of like being a playing detective, but then you like get knocked out or something, and you wake
for
up.
A daughter or something.
I can't remember, but the story's the one weak point of it.
It's a little confusing. To me.
Is. Yeah.
It's like MGS.
Yeah, but
like,
I mean, you literally wake up and you're upside down and like. There's dead bodies like all like hanging upside down next to you and stuff, and you have to dig a knife out of another guy and like cut yourself down.
Kind of has like a DMC feel with that, where you like switch like dimensions a little bit, like like the reboot, like is what I'm specifically saying.
I agree. Yeah, but no, it's like it's got everything in it. It's got like Resident Evil survival horror. It's got maybe a little bit of Texas Chainsaw in there a little bit.
Yeah, I'd say that.
Stuff because some of the enemies are kind of like that.
I remember it being like a little. It's hard. Like it's been a while since I played this, and I didn't play it a lot. But I remember there being like almost like sandboxy areas with like different buildings you could go in, but you didn't have to like.
It is like that, yeah.
You weren't like stuck to one area kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like linear, but you could go into places, I think.
Yeah, so almost like Last of Us or something like that. Yeah.
And no, whenever Bethesda like announced the second one, I feel like I was the only person who was like, "Oh my god, yes!"
I'm excited. I definitely want to jump back into it because it's something I feel like I didn't give a good enough chance.
No, yeah,
I do that sometimes.
And in sequels for video games, sequels usually get better. They're completely opposite. Like movie sequels are like, and then video game sequels are like, oh, they can only get better sometimes.
Yeah, especially like I don't know, the second ones always feel like they take. I mean, we've said it a few times on this show. Like, they take stuff from the first one that was good. They eliminate some of the bad. Destiny does this.
Yeah,
they eliminate some of the bad stuff from the first game, and they add some cool stuff, but they keep the stuff you liked. And
yeah,
it
exactly.
just makes for a good game.
Yeah.
Connor, what's the one you got?
The Walking Dead season 1 and 2.
Ooh,
The Telltale
game. Okay, yeah. Walking Dead season 1 grabbed my heart and it ripped it out. And honestly, one of the scarier experiences I've had, just because you feel like you're involved in the character.
Yeah.
Especially because you have like the Clem.
I was gonna say Clementine is what really sealed that for me. It was like, if I let her die, what's the point? You know?
Yeah, so. Exactly. And like some of the decisions you have to make in that game are just awful. Either way.
Yeah.
Like and it's like save this guy or save this woman, and you're like, well, I kind of like them both. Like I don't know.
Yeah, there were situations where I was like, oh, I hate that guy. I'm gonna save this person, but yeah, I agree. Yeah, freaking Kenny.
Kenny. Or Kenny's son or whatever. Like,
yeah, that's right. Yeah,
not Doug.
Not
Stupid
Doug. I don't like him.
Stupid Doug.
What's he doing playing over there? What's he doing? Doing Doug. Yeah.
Doug Dimmadome.
I haven't played.
Sorry.
Dimsdale Dimmadome. Doug Dimmadome. Top 5 Fairly Odd Parents episodes. But yeah, Walking Dead season 1. I haven't played season 2 that much. I didn't finish it.
Me neither.
But season 1 was really good. I liked season 1 a lot.
Season 2 definitely wasn't as good as season 1, but I did like playing as Clem.
Yeah, I was about to say you play as Clem. I played the first episode, and I have it on my PlayStation. I just haven't played it.
I didn't play. You're not alone. I didn't play season 2 either.
It was I think it was a PS Plus game, and I activated it.
I watched somebody play the beginning, but yeah.
I'm weird with Telltale games. Like I'll like wait on them, and then I'll just play them all in like one sitting.
That's what I did with this and Batman.
Oh, Batman was really good.
And I really liked
that
Batman.
A couple weeks ago. Yeah, I liked Batman a lot. Yeah, Walking Dead the season 1, it kind of took a genre of games that wasn't very good. Let's just say it like the adventure,
point
almost
and click
like
thing.
Point and click thing, and it like just completely like did like at the time the best like version you could have of that type of game, and it gave you like meaningful decisions that felt like you're impacting like a world instead of just like killing people. I don't know.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff like cutting off your arm and stuff like that, I was just like, God, I don't know.
Right.
What should I
forgot
do
about that,
with this? Like, just almost in the very end of the game, I almost got tears playing that. That was a very emotional game. I think that won Game of the Year for a Telltale game. I think that
so,
won
yeah.
Game of the Year a lot of places.
Because the copy I have is the Game of the Year edition.
Game of the Year edition. There you go. Yeah, really good game. Well, glad you brought that up.
It's a good pick. I like that. Yeah. I didn't even think about that as far as like horror games, but
it's definitely scary.
Yep. It's definitely scary.
Stupid Doug.
The other one that I didn't put on a list because it's really bad was Dante's Inferno.
Oh gosh.
Which was a ripoff of just God of War.
Yeah.
I haven't played that. EA made it, right?
It's not very good.
You can literally go find it in like any bargain bin in the whole world. It's like that bad.
Well, if they made a Dante's Inferno game, but From Software made it, it would be amazing.
Oh, that would be cool. Like
I should
a Dark
pitch
Souls.
that idea.
Yeah.
Like Dark Souls, Dante's Inferno.
That would be pretty cool, yeah. Dark Souls, the guys, they should make like a horror game because they have horror elements in their games.
That's what I was saying earlier.
If they made like a really horror game.
Yeah, I wouldn't classify them quite as horror, but they are like, there's like some stuff in, I mean, some of the monsters and stuff.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But like
if
if they made it more like tension based, that would be awesome.
Oh man, I should have saved that for our last section where we talk about like what games we want to happen or whatever.
Oh, whoops. Okay.
Oh well. Okay, last game I have on here, my favorite horror game. I'll say it. Until Dawn.
Wow.
What? Mic drop, except I'm not going to drop
Walking
your
Dead
mic.
Telltale Plus. No, I'm just kidding.
Walking Dead Telltale Plus. No, I love Until Dawn. Until Dawn was one of the first PlayStation 4 games I played. It has like 20 different endings or something like that.
Yeah.
You can get everyone killed early on, and the game just like ends, or you can like make it to the end, like the actual end, and have
Probably
everyone
still one of the best like facial. What do they call that?
it's like what LA Noire did, like facial capture. I guess.
Face capture.
Yeah,
games.
great graphics. Very. It captured like that, like the Cabin in the Woods kind of feel to it, where it was kind of like
a bunch of teenagers in a cabin.
Yeah,
being attacked,
and they're like there on the anniversary of their friend's death or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you have like the classic tropes of like the jock guy, and then the like the girl, and then smart guy.
And I like how it starts out where you think it's just
jock.
a regular like serial killer. So it starts out with that vibe, but then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, this is like a monster. Okay.
It's like, it goes from family drama to serial, like Friday the 13th, like
to
slasher.
Wendigo really hard.
To Wendigo.
to Wendigo.
Freaking Wendigo.
Yeah.
I think it's a scary game too, because at any moment there's no like game over screen in that game. Like if you like fail something, you're gonna die.
Yeah,
that character's
it'd be
not
really
gonna be in your cutscenes.
to try to do a no death run. If you try to do a no death run,
I mean,
that'd probably be the most stressful.
Yeah, especially because of like the quick time events and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh man, I love that game. That's a game I would recommend to people that love horror films or stuff like that. Like I have a few friends that aren't like huge gamers. You should play Until Dawn, Connor.
That is like, yeah,
really good game.
I think I know the game you're talking about.
Hayden Panettiere is in it.
And the guy that played like Iceman, right?
Rami Malek is in it, yeah.
Oh, wow.
From Mr. Robot or whatever.
Huh.
He's like the main guy, and Hayden Panettiere is like main girl. Love that. I love that game. Probably I'd put it in one of my most underrated games list. I think that game
I can't
is
knock
great.
you for that though, because that's like the epitome of horror. So yeah, I mean,
it's like whenever I think of like horror movies and they're like trying to copy that in a video game, it's Until Dawn.
it's like the best horror movie game.
Yeah, except it's not actually like from a movie, but it
Yeah.
might as well be.
Yeah.
I love Until Dawn, and I would recommend that to everyone.
Cool. Yeah.
Good game.
Well,
Fun
my favorite horror game is cliche, but I'll just say
Do it.
It's
Resident
actually Resident Evil, the
2?
remake
One
of the first game.
of the one. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like
Interesting.
our remake.
Yeah, like the GameCube one. Was it on
Yeah,
GameCube?
exactly,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep. It's like
They removed like the tank controls, right?
they actually kept them.
Oh, really?
Yes. But basically, they made them so they're a little bit like less crappy.
Oh,
you
okay,
know?
I gotcha.
They updated it. Like the whole game's completely like ground up remake for first.
Okay. Yeah, I actually haven't played that. I've played the original Resident Evil.
Oh my! You never played remake?
No,
they
never
put
played
it on
remake.
PS4 and stuff. So
I should try that.
Check it out. It's
I
only
mean,
like 20
Resident
bucks.
Evil's one of my favorite series.
Did you ever play the PS1 one?
Yes.
Ever?
Yeah.
It's like it's the same game as that, except for it's not terrible.
Yeah. The original Resident Evil kind of like it kind of took what people liked in like B movies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And put it in like a video game for like one of the first times. I remember like the cutscenes and stuff in that being like actually scary, like the dogs jumping through the windows or whatever. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like that was terrifying at the time.
Yeah. No, it was one of those that like put survival horror on the map.
And it started a franchise that spawned billions of sequels and a movie franchise and like
Yeah, but like I would even go as far to
custom
say
Leon
that
coats.
custom Leon coats. But I would even go as far to say that like it's my favorite horror game, but I think it's the best video game remake ever done. Like it's absolutely fantastic. You can literally you'd be hard pressed to find like a negative review on it.
They're this is a side point, but Resident Evil 2 is supposedly getting remade.
If that game got remade, oh my gosh! If it got the same treatment as this,
yeah,
it would be amazing.
I need to get that on. Like, I just need to like go through and just like play all the Resident Evil games again.
Yeah. Well, what's cool about the old ones and why a lot of purists
Except
like
6.
them more is because, like you said, the tank controls. That's what limits you. So like the game itself isn't very difficult. Like if you were able to just run around and shoot all the zombies, I mean,
you're like Nathan Drake in there.
There's like one zombie in a hallway, and that's a problem.
True. Yeah,
like one zombie
right.
in one hallway, and that's an issue because
right.
you have 12 bullets and only your tank controls to deal with.
Yeah,
that's what makes it scary.
And it was before like aiming and walking and stuff like that was a normal thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you just stood there.
And it still has really good boss battles. It's got the Metroidvania feel that you said, because the whole game is like in the mansion. There's parts of it that are.
I love games that that's like one of my favorite style of games that have like a Metroidvania type.
There's a part where you finally get out of the mansion. You're walking down this trail and you go into this little tiny shack, and all of a sudden the game becomes like there's a monster that chases you around for a while, and it's so freaky. Like it's so good. Yeah. Man,
I gotta play through all those again. Even Nemesis.
Yeah, they need honestly they need to remake that one, and then we're good. Then you have like a beautiful franchise of games, you know.
I mean, if they remade 4, I'd be happy too.
That would be good. That's my favorite game. That's like my second one. So you know,
Resident Evil 4 is like one of my favorite games of all time. I'd say. I don't know if it. Do you like? I guess it's horror.
I'd
say it's horror. It had like a heavy survival elements on it.
Yeah, I mean it's like third person shooter.
Man, that scene in like the lake or whatever with the big, it's so cool.
It is like it's way more over the top than the other ones, but it's cool though.
And Leon's my favorite character too.
Yeah, no, that's why I like the second one a lot too, because he's the main character.
It's got a cool story too. You're going to save the president's daughter. Or whatever.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's
in
not
Spain.
and it's not just like zombies, you know.
Yeah, and it's not Resident Evil 5, so there's a good thing.
Or Resident Evil 6.
Or Resident Evil 6.
I like 5 better than 6.
Gosh,
I'll take 5 any day.
Yeah.
So one last thing I wanted to do, and I won't spend super long on this. Friday the 13th, the video game came out, and it was.
I definitely want to do this.
Definitely say it's a success. I think the player base is still pretty high. I think for the most part, people like that game a lot. So I was thinking, hey, let's do that with some other stuff and make it not suck.
Yep.
So, about to blow your minds here. First one I have on here. We already talked about this movie franchise a little bit. An Evil Dead survival game.
That's my number one.
Is that what you're gonna say too?
Yep.
Awesome.
Dude, the Evil Dead is literally prime for a video game. They've already made one. It just wasn't good, you know.
Yeah. But like, here's what I want: like a PC style, like, or it can be on consoles too. But like survival game
like
where
first
at night
person
you have
Oh,
at
okay.
night. Well, okay. I mean, they can do whatever they want. I want Evil Dead in a game, but this is the one I wanted, and then you can say what you wanted.
Okay.
But a first-person like survival game where you have to go outside like during the day and like go find stuff and try to get away from wherever you're at, and then at night you just got to barricade yourself inside because the Evil Dead's coming for you.
That's awesome, man.
And then stuff in the house, you can have like moose heads talking to you and stuff like that. You can have visitors.
That would be so good.
At some point in the game, like maybe there's like randomly generated. Or I don't like saying that word because it's such like a dirty word nowadays with No Man's Sky. But like some kind of like
No Man's Sky.
Yeah, but some kind of like thing where like visitors can show up and like you can like try to like save them, but there's like permadeath, and if they die, they're like not in the game anymore.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
I pretty much say that's like. I
pretty much what you wanted.
Yeah, pretty much the same thing that I wanted.
Would you play this, Connor?
I agree with that.
I would play this.
You could, if you're really getting crazy, maybe you could make it so like you could have like 3 people online with each other, and like you
so
all
cool,
like.
yeah.
I don't know. I really like the feeling of like barricading yourself up and like trying to survive one more night.
Well, it's kind of
going outside.
It's
and
kind of like what like Nazi Zombies mode has sort of done a little bit, where you do all the Easter eggs and make a thing, but they should focus hard on the Easter egg part, like not necessarily that you're killing a bunch of zombies, like shooting a bunch of things.
They need to make it so you can like go out and gather resources, find a chainsaw, find this thing to cut off your arm.
But I like the idea of being like, you have to read this from the Necronomicon to do this, and like you have to co-op with each other. Like that would be awesome.
And I want it. I want it to like
Bruce Campbell narrated
each time. Yeah, I want it so like each time you play, it's like a new experience too. I don't want just like a story driven game. I want it like you're in the world of the Evil Dead and you're like trying to survive all the stuff.
That'd be sick. Yeah, that'd be amazing. That was definitely like that was my number one
do
too.
It.
So
and then another one I had. I'm not gonna spend too long I actually had a couple more. One has been said before because it's kind of been done, but they need to flesh it out more. A NetherRealm just horror fighting game. They've added in.
That was.
Is that on yours too?
I can literally show you my list,
oh
dude.
Oh my god. Yeah. Okay. So like Freddy Krueger and Jason and
Oh, okay, mine's a little bit different than that. I'll tell you
Leatherface
mine
have
is
been
then.
in there.
Yeah.
I want them to fight each other. Just a whole game.
The whole
but
game
like,
with that, yeah.
But like you can throw in the Jeepers Creepers guy. You can throw in
Mine is the Universal Monsters fighting game.
I would put
that would be really good
that's
too.
Mine,
okay,
so
yeah,
that's kind of similar.
So,
but yours
so
is more like slasher movie villains.
Yeah, I'm
fighting
thinking
game.
I'm thinking like The Thing or
Okay,
Alien.
yeah.
You could do slashers versus monsters.
That would be amazing. Yeah, like just
So you're thinking
just
like
throw balls
Black
to the wall.
Lagoon, Creature of the Black Lagoon,
Yes,
and
The Mummy.
Frankenstein and the Mummy and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, and NetherRealms too. Yeah,
And Phantom of the Opera.
sure. Yeah,
He's in it too. He just sings.
yeah, he just sings. Yeah.
That's like his like ultimate move. He sings and it does like the zoom in on your ears and it shows like your like you know what I'm talking about, like in the Mortal Kombat games where it zooms in on like a bone's getting broken or something. It just zooms in on your eardrums and they're just breaking.
They're just exploding. Yeah.
And your guys just like
Yeah, they've
like,
already sort of done that whole idea a little bit before Capcom. Actually, it's called in Japan it's called Vampire Slayer, but in America it's called Darkstalkers.
Oh, I do know about Darkstalkers.
And
Okay,
so a lot of the characters are based off of that. Like there's a mummy guy in it. And
that's true.
But
I
I'm
don't
talking
think
like original. Like put the original mummy in this. Put Dracula. Put Frankenstein. You know that'd be awesome.
I would love that. I would love both the ones we said. The one I said, like, I was thinking about Warner Brothers owns a lot of those properties, and Warner Brothers owns NetherRealm, so like, and Warner Brothers is also making a lot of games. Like,
I like it.
recently.
Like if you're gonna go that balls to wall, I like what Connor was saying. Just
have
do
them fight each
Universal
other.
Monsters
Why
versus
not?
slasher.
Let's just have them fight. They can be Lego
Everything.
form.
The big old horror bash, SmackDown, Supreme,
SmackDown versus Raw Monsters Edition.
SmackDown versus Raw, Monsters
2K.
Edition.
And then
2K.
one random one I had on here is a Scream game, but like in the style of Until Dawn.
Oh, okay, yeah. Like specifically that license, Scream.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
but I don't. That
I was
one,
worried that you
one's
were about
more
to say
long.
my other thing. I have three.
Say your last one.
Yeah, okay. So my last one is really crazy. This is the one that I was like, wow, this would be weird. But imagine like a Nightmare on Elm Street game, right?
Yes.
I had that as well.
Yeah, you had that. Yeah, except for like, one person is like Freddy, and you're sort of laying traps, like you're creating like puzzles in somebody else's dream that are scary, and then the players are like dealing with that. I'm not a developer, so I don't know. That would be
How
my
that
pitch,
would work.
you know.
Yeah. So would it be online? Your one person's playing as Freddy?
It could be. I think there should be. It should be a full on game where you've got a whole story mode and everything. But then there should be like an online mechanic where it becomes very creative, almost like in the same sense as Minecraft
Like
and
Little
Mario
Big Planet?
Maker, that kind of thing. Yeah, where like one guy literally makes a map and gets to lord over it as Freddy. Because I mean, Freddy's is the dream guy, right? You know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That would be very interesting, especially because people could create some really messed up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
My idea for it would make it like the Friday the 13th game,
Okay.
but like the map you're on,
It's like in a dream.
yeah, it
that's
like
cool too, yeah.
transforms.
I like that.
And you can be like in a classroom where you're in your underwear,
Yeah.
or like.
Oh, it just does scary stuff.
That's
scary
amazing. Yeah.
situations.
That's sort of.
I
That's,
like that.
Yeah, I like.
But Freddy also like stalks you,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to get away from him and try to wake up.
I like this idea.
that would be cool.
We just need all these games. I don't know. I'm not a game developer, so I can't make these, but someone needs to make these games.
I know, but they can even do silly stuff like whoever the guy who's doing Freddy can like talk through a voice changer and it sounds like Freddy's talking.
Yeah, I was
to you
about to
in-
say
in
some
your
voice
game.
chat stuff would be
That'd
really
be so
cool.
cool. Yeah.
And another idea I had was once again like the Friday the 13th game,
It's a good game.
but with Predator.
Oh, okay. Like you're in the jungle.
Okay,
Oh.
yeah, I
And
really
you'll have
like that idea.
guns.
And
I
you
really like
and
that
you can
idea.
go from cloaked to uncloaked and like look through.
Man, think about it.
Objective, get to the chopper.
Think about think about like PUBG style, where like you just like all of you air in, but you're not fighting against each other, but you all just air into like this like
Like the jungle.
jungle, and then you're like you can like make traps, you can scavenge, you can go like you can meet up with other people there, you can like but you're not all like with each other at the start. You can like try to meet up with each other, but you're on this huge island or jungle or whatever, and then you got to get to the chopper.
Yeah, but I like that because I was
Playing
like,
as Predator would be so cool too.
yeah, I was gonna question how would you differentiate that between, because now that Friday the 13th is a game, it's almost like nullifies why it's like, let's do the same thing but with Halloween, except for it's the same thing, so why would you do that? But the thing with Predator, I think that differentiates it is that it's more action, because you have a gun and stuff like that automatically changes
slow.
it. Yeah, like I can't imagine, I can't tell you how many times I've been playing Friday the 13th and been like, yeah, this is cool, but like I wish I could fight Jason and kick his ass,
Yeah.
like, so like it'd be cool if like Predator they did that.
Yeah, you can't fight Jason at all.
Yeah.
That's not gonna work. I thought you could though when I first played the game, and I just
you can
ran
kind
up
of
to
a
him.
little bit, but it doesn't work.
I just ran up to him and he chopped off my head. And I was like, well, all right.
Yeah,
I guess that's how this game plays.
killing him is like, you can kill him, but it's like a whole process.
You get like a
but-
trophy for it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like hard.
But I feel like killing the Predator shouldn't be as hard as killing the,
I feel like that would be like really cool, especially like thinking about like his like night vision or heat vision, like sight. Oh, and they could like add maps and like maybe like ones like at a city or something like that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Like Predator 2.
Like
Danny
they get
Glover.
captured.
Danny
Yeah.
Glover. I actually don't hate that movie.
Glover.
I don't hate that movie, but anyways, yeah.
And you can like make your own like what do you call, like a soldier, like you create your own soldier
Yeah.
for the game, so that you don't play as Arnold, because that would just be like,
Yeah, well,
everybody want to play as Arnold.
I'd want to play as Danny Trejo from
Oh, that's true.
Predators,
Yeah.
the movie.
That's true. For Predators, the movie.
Another one, that's one movie I like will defend. I really like Predators. I love that movie. Robert Rodriguez.
Oh yeah.
I just don't like, there's like some stuff at the end with fake Venom. I can't think of his name.
Topher Grace.
I don't like
Yeah.
some of the stuff they do with him. But I like that movie.
Yeah, his plot twist was kind of
And I was like, that's too plain. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's a great idea. I want to see this game made. I want to see.
And also with my Nightmare on Elm Street game, I would want it to combined with the Friday the 13th game. That way you could do
Freddy versus Jason
yeah.
game.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah. And then they can all converge in the fighting game that we just made up.
Yes.
With they turn into Legos.
And they alternate.
I'm
Universal
sorry.
monsters versus slasher villains.
Legos.
Legos. That's
I'm
amazing.
surprised there's not that Lego doesn't have stake in Universal monsters. Actually, no, they do, because Creature from the Black Lagoon
He's
was
in the Lego movie.
Really?
Lego Batman. He's one
Yeah,
of the
that's right. That's right.
guys trapped in the Phantom
That's
Zone.
so weird. They're just like, look,
Man,
we
Lego
own this too.
Ninjago is coming out, and I'm excited for it.
Oh my
I'm
god.
a
Really?
Lego,
I'm
dude,
a
I
lot
love those
more
Lego
excited.
movies.
Oh, the Lego movies are good, but like Lego Ninjago.
It doesn't look that good, but
Yeah.
I'm trusting
Oh,
them.
okay, yeah.
I really liked Lego Batman.
Well, are they gonna have other stuff in it besides the Ninjago material? Or
I'm
is it
sure
gonna-
they will.
Okay.
Like, don't they usually? Like,
I-
Batman even had the other stuff in it.
I wouldn't
true,
be
yeah.
surprised.
I
But I
just-
also wouldn't be surprised that it's just a standalone.
Yeah.
I hope not.
Isn't it a TV show
I don't
On-
want to talk about that.
on like Cartoon Network?
Yeah, I have no idea. So yeah, you kind of have to be 12 to know about it. So
I want to talk about the TV show. I think the movie's gonna be good, guys. Anyways, well,
All right.
guys, I think that was a pretty great show. I'm very pleased with it.
Yeah.
Thanks for
had a lot of
thanks for
fun.
coming on, Connor.
Oh,
Appreciate
thanks
you.
for having me.
You're our first guest and not the last. Yeah. You're not
Give
the
it
last.
for what the heck, Connor.
What the heck, Connor?
Give it
But
up.
thanks you guys for listening to us. We have past episodes below. The last week we did the
Oh gosh. Yeah.
DC
well, yeah.
episode. Or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Sorry,
We
blanked
talked
out.
about DC for a long time.
Yeah, and then we've also done the Dunkirk, and we also the Christopher Nolan episode, and then we did the fall preview. Check
Yep.
us out.
All good episodes.
Thanks,
all
man.
good
Appreciate you. Yeah. Subscribe to us. Leave us a comment if you'd like. We'll be around. We got more stuff coming for you. Just a little tease here. Jeffrey and I are working on a Metal Gear Solid themed fan cast. We'll let you know more about that soon.
Yeah, because the movie that's now gaining some traction,
Yeah, and it might not suck.
and it might not suck. Yeah.
Jordan Vogt Roberts.
Yeah.
Pretty good director so far. And then I got my Destiny 2 review that I'm working on slowly because I
Cool.
got to beat the raid first. Anyways,
Yeah.
thanks you guys. We'll see you later.
Connor for real.
Connor for real.
Do you want me to trip and Connor it? Just like, oh.
Whoa.